Did you know you have a silent partner? One that's been with you from your very first moment, quietly shaping your biggest life decisions. Well, that partner is the law. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the law of you here in the Philippines. From the second you legally exist to the moment you might say, I do. It's time to get to know this silent partner that guides our entire lives. Okay, this single sentence right here, it's the key to understanding everything. Why on earth is the state so interested in marriage? Well, it's because it sees stable marriages as the very bedrock of a stable society. It's the foundation of the family. The state isn't just a guest at the wedding, it's a major stakeholder in the whole thing. And that's exactly the journey we're on in this explainer. We're going to follow the legal life of a person right from the very, very beginning to see how the law weaves itself into our most basic choices and relationships. This isn't just about boring, abstract rules. This is about the legal architecture of your life. So, where does it all begin? Well, the first big step in our legal life is the moment the law officially says, yep, you're a person. Let's see how that actually happens. Think of this as your legal operating system. It's the fundamental thing that allows you to have rights in the first place. The right to own stuff, to inherit, to eventually sign a contract. It's automatically installed the second the law recognizes you, and it only ever shuts down at death. This seems like a really simple question, doesn't it? When do I legally become me? But, the law has a very specific and I think kind of surprising answer to that. And here's where the law does something really fascinating. It creates what we call a legal fiction, and it's all about protection. So a conceived child can't, open a bank account. But what if a grandparent wants to leave them an inheritance in their will? The law basically says, you know what? For that positive purpose, we'll act as if they're already here. Okay, so from the beginning of life, let's jump to the next massive life event that the law shapes, marriage. We already heard that the state is vitally interested, and that means it treats this agreement unlike any other contract you'll ever sign. This chart just lays it out perfectly. In a business deal, you and the other parties set the terms. But in a marriage, the law steps in and dictates the most important ones. You can't just shake hands and call it quits. The state has a major say in how it begins, how it works, and how it ends. It's not just your business, it's a public institution. Now, the law is incredibly particular about how you form this special contract. Think of it like building a house. The essential requisites, those are the foundation. If you don't have them, you don't have a house, period. The marriage is just void. The formal requisites, though, they're more like the building permits and paperwork. If there's a problem there, it might not bring the whole house down, but it can definitely cause some serious legal headaches. So once you're married, the law's interest goes straight into your bank account. It has a profound impact on your money and your property. Let's talk about that. All right, so unless you and your partner sign a prenuptial agreement, this is the system that automatically kicks in the very second you get married. It's the default setting for property in the Philippines, and wow, it is a complete game changer. And this is a huge deal. Let me put it simply. The car you owned, the savings I had, the instant you're married, all of it gets thrown into one big communal pot. It's a total financial merger. Now, there are a few exceptions, like if you receive a direct inheritance, but for the most part, the law says you two are now one single economic unit. But what happens when a marriage has a major flaw, right from the very start? Well, the law has two very different ways of dealing with this, and the difference between them is absolutely critical. A void marriage is like a legal phantom. In the eyes of the law, it never actually happened. A perfect example is a bigamous marriage, marrying someone who's already married to someone else. The law says that ceremony was null from the very beginning, and there's nothing you can do later to make it real. A voidable marriage, on the other hand, is totally real. It exists. It's like a valid contract that just happens to have a hidden cancel button. So maybe consent was given because of some kind of fraud. That marriage is legitimate until one person goes to court and a judge officially presses that button. And this is key, if they decide to keep living together freely after the fraud is known, they can essentially remove that button and solidify the marriage for good. Okay, now let's dive into one of the most debated and honestly, one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of Philippine law, psychological incapacity. You have to pay really close attention to the words here because they are incredibly precise. This is not about being a difficult spouse or just being incompatible. It's about a genuine, deep-seated psychological condition that makes a person truly incognitive.
that is, incapable of even understanding the basic promises of marriage, like loyalty and mutual support.
And to prove it, you have to clear these three incredibly high hurdles set by the courts over the years. First, it has to be grave, a serious condition, not just a weird quirk. Second, it must have existed when the vows were taken, even if nobody knew it then. And third, it has to be incurable. This combination makes it a very specific and very challenging thing to establish.
So, as we've seen, from the way it defines personhood to how it structures the finances of a family, this whole area of law is so much more than a set of rules. It's really a mirror, reflecting what a society values most about life, about commitment, and about the family itself.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The law doesn't see marriage as just a private deal. It sees it as a protected, inviolable social institution. So the real question is, how does understanding its legal and social weight, how should that influence the personal choices and the promises we decide to make?